breathing oxygen. We breathe air, but it's the oxygen, the 21% of the air is made out of oxygen, the rest nitrogen, trace gases. And that oxygen goes into our lungs and into our blood, and that burns the food and turns the food into energy. It's okay, I'll get it out of the way. And that's where you got oxygen in your blood and into your muscles, and when you run, it makes energy so you can run. So we use oxygen to burn, and out comes carbon dioxide when we breathe. So the trees take it back, and they turn it into food, which we eat. Apples and cucumbers, whatever the plant grows. So the more oak trees we have, the more people who can, the more oxygen we'll have, the more people can carry on breathing. Forget about global warming, it's too late. It's too late. The permafrost is going to let out a worse gas than carbon dioxide, methane, and that will really stop the heat escaping from the earth. And there'll be huge global warming. So you're going to have very few cold countries to live in. But the problem in America is people used to travel to the rich parts of America to live and work. Oh, you're so kind, I'm videoing it. Look up Sir Huey on YouTube, you'll be in it. And so I'm allowed to cycle on this path. Terrible gas coming out of that truck. They like it, they like me on YouTube. So I'm going to take you to a place that's very dangerous for being caught on a bike. The police followed me in their car and demanded I stop to give my name and address and charge me £60. They're just going off the path. Now that's what you should be doing. Whoops, it says no cycling. Did you see that? So you have to be very careful going down here. So I'm going to take you to a place where you can see the sights of London on the hill. You just have to jump off. So you know, if you want to go on the tube during the time when you're not allowed to put bikes on the tube, or the underground that's too deep, central line, you can't put a bike on that, or the peak part, you just take off a wheel and tie it onto your bike and just put your bike on the train as luggage. So if you've got one wheel off, a front wheel off, it's not a bike anymore, and you can travel from Heathrow. Whoops, this is a bit bumpy for you. I'm riding across the lawn. It hasn't been rolled.
Look up. Sorry.
It's okay. She's on YouTube, Sir Huey. So he was nice, wasn't he? Apologising for his dog. Now be very careful. If a dog runs at you when you're cycling, it can bang into your bike and kill you, because your bike stops immediately and you go off the handlebars and bang on your head. So that's very dangerous, cycling fast in London when a dog can rush out, or a person can rush out. Now can you see the city here of Docklands? So that white dome on the right is the dome, the Millennial Dome we built in 2000. And that one in the distance with the sloping roof, just behind it, it's a narrow one, further away, and that's Belfont Tower. But those skyscrapers are banks, so they've got offices one above the other, so it's cheaper to put the offices on top of each other. But they waste hours a week waiting to go from office to office in the lift. No one told them. They're waiting 20 minutes for the lift. Wasting time. That's 20 minutes is a lot when you add it up over a day. So escalators would have been better, but it's more expensive. So you can go from one floor to the other. So tower blocks are going to take over London. Got 200 planned to come to be built. Well, last year was the hottest year. This will be even hotter. Now this is interesting because this floats in the air. It's an aerofoil, like a glider wing. So when you throw it, it flies like a wing of a plane. So when I was at intermediate school, I had a metal ruler that folded into four or into a triangle, and if you just left it as not fully folded as a triangle and threw it like this, it'd spin right across the playground. A French. There's two teams keeping it from each other. They're not very good at catching, are they? Now, if you practice catching, you'll learn to read faster than your mates who don't learn to catch, because it's related. Catching, the eye-hand coordination it's called. If you get very good at catching, like baseball, you'll be a great reader because it trains the brain to read. So kids who can't read, they're given little bean bags, little bags stuffed with beans, to throw into hoops to practice reading. To develop the hand-eye coordination, with throwing the bean bag into a box. Just making sure it's still on, yes. Children used to all climb trees when they were young. I had a tree outside my house in New Zealand, Christchurch, and I'd climb it when I got strong enough to pull myself up, sit in the branches and think about being alive and being born and being a child. I had a leather belt by the Scouts called "Be Prepared" on the belt, and a snakeskin belt I brought back from Australia. So I knew I was lucky with a family that could afford Australia by boat. Give me the present. And never fell out of a tree. I fell over twice and broke my collarbone. But children aren't falling out of trees anymore. They've stopped climbing trees.